All right, everybody, welcome back to Green Gaming Fest. Green Gaming Fest is a marathon that started back in 2021 to raise awareness and to help promote positive climate change. And we only have one world to live on, and our climate's getting hotter every year. So we aim to make a difference and reduce humanity's global carbon footprint. Now, I'm going to hand the mic over to the one and only Space Croquette, who's going to be running some Messenger 8-bit, no out of bounds.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Space Croquette. Thank you very much for having me. And today, to help me, I have the incredible Storm. Storm, how are you?
Hi, hi everyone. I'm Storm or Storms. Thanks for having me, and I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am very happy to be here and to be able to run Messenger again. It was a long time ago that I was in a marathon with Messenger, so I'm very happy to be with you again because I think we are making a nice team now.
Okay, so, then you know what you need to do.
So. As fast as possible. We are late, so we need to win a bit of time here. So let's go to try to finish the game under 30 minutes, and then it will be already nice. So so the countdown. So the game will start at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck.
Good luck. Should I start? Do you start?
However you want it.
So then let's go. For Ninja Village, I can still do it. So The Messenger is a game that came out in 2018 on almost all platforms. It's a platformer game really inspired from Ninja Gaiden and has also Metroidvania part. And what are we doing here? That's the end of the world. We are living in the Ninja Village, and we are waiting for the hero from the west to come to help us to fight the demon. And this level is just a tutorial to help us learning one of the most important ability of the game. That's the Cloud Step. That give us the possibility to have a double jump, to win a jump every time we slash something, and we will abuse this everywhere. We doesn't know too much more here, so the hero of the west come too late. The demon are already there, and this hero of the west came to help us and will give us a message to bring at the top of the mountain. And now we are the messenger.
Yeah, so basically I will continue now because Space needs to concentrate, especially in the first stage coming up. So we're playing here 8-bit, new game, no out of bounds. 8-bit is the first part of the game. I don't want to spoil the game too much, but you can already see the aesthetics kind of like 8-bit-ish. And this is why we call this part of the game 8-bit. It's the most competitive category, especially the new game, no out of bounds. You will see a lot of small optimizations here and there. So especially now in the first stage, Autumn Hills, we try to abuse kind of these turtles to do the so-called turtle boost. Damn, I haven't played this game in a while. Turtle boosting, I don't want to go too much into detail about the technique is, but basically we try to slash in the opposite direction to kind of get a couple of frames here and there to get even faster towards the end. And so first up, we need 40 time shards to get into the shop to buy our first upgrade, the Strike of the Ninja. So combined with the climbing claws that we got from the shopkeeper, we are now able to slash projectiles. And also we get cloud steps now from projectiles. And this enables us, especially in the first stage of the game, to do even more ninja movement, you could say. And we're coming up now is the first big kind of skip that we are doing. It's the spike pit, and we try to get a white boosted damage boost. We got that very successfully, and it only saves a couple of seconds, but to be honest, this category is pretty hard optimized already. And shoutouts to Grondius, who has the world record with sub 29 time. That is really really sick time, really hard optimized, and he really put a lot of effort into that. So Space will not go for every hard optimized strat because some of them are not even marathon safe. Yeah. But you can already see that we try to get most of the cycles here, go with pretty hard damage boosts, and especially since this is the first stage. This is already a really hard reset point. So here we try to get the spike tower skip that we got. It was a bit, we unfortunately touched the spikes, but we got over there and we can save again a couple of seconds with that. And yeah, like I was mentioning, so especially Autumn Hills, we don't really have that much of abilities, but even with that, we optimized it pretty hard and tried to use as much as possible the turtle boost and try to use the cloud steps to skip a few parts of some rooms to even get more time out of there. And yeah, as you can see, a really beautiful ninja movement here.
Yeah. I'm happy that I'm not too rusty here. That's okay.
Yeah, like I was mentioning, especially Autumn Hills, and especially Autumn Hills under pressure or on nerfs can really be something, to be honest. But as you can see, Space is doing a really good job here. So yeah, and coming up with that, we are reaching the end of Autumn Hills, and at the end of Autumn Hills, we want to have 130 time shards. Because we need to buy 2 new upgrades. We need to buy the shurikens and the the ability called Second Wind that we can recover when we take damage. And especially the shurikens we need now for the upcoming boss. And the damage recovery ability is pretty important in the next stages. So coming up here now is the Leaf Golem or Leaf Monster. And with the help of the shurikens, we try to one-cycle this enemy. So hopefully we see now that we get a one-cycle. It's looking good so far. So yeah, GD.
always, it's always in marathon. It's always, this boss is always terrible when it's happening.
Normally the strat is not that hard to pull off, but like Space was mentioning, especially in more nerf-wrecking setup, you can maybe miss 1 or 2 slashes, and if you don't get the one cycle on this boss, you will lose kind of like 18 to 20 seconds. So it's an enormous time loss if you don't get it. So this was Forlorn Temple. Really short stage, but this is only be playable in the later part of the game that we will not see in this part of the speedrun. And now we are in Catacombs. So Catacombs is a pretty heavy cycle-based stage. And as you can see, we try a nice jump on the platform there. We try to go as optimized as possible through these crushers. And most of the time you can say if you can't get a cycle in Catacombs, even it can be really close to to die, or you will lose a lot of time. And now we saw the boss of the stage already, that was Ruxton, who gave us a couple of enemies or foes that we need to get rid of. But we will see later a bit more of Ruxton, so I will not jump too much into him or too much into detail about him. And also combined with the cycles that we need to get here, Catacombs has also a pretty huge cutscene skip that is called Bedonk, and it will come up shortly. We still have a couple of rooms before that, but to maybe already explain how the cutscene skip Space is going for is working. So you can see every time we slash an enemy or we slash a projectile, we get this kind of cloudy, airish animation below Ninja's feet. And that means that we have a cloud step available. And what we try to do is Space will try to get one of these cloud steps while dropping through a platform to get it into the next room. And then we would try to reach with that Cloud Step a specific lantern. And if we can make that, then we can skip a cutscene with Ruxtin that normally would lose us 8 seconds. And yeah, this is or even more than 8 seconds. So I think it's about 10-ish, 12-ish, depends on how optimized you kill the foes. But yeah, as you can see now, Space would try to get the Cloud Step, unfortunately bonked the ceiling. So yeah, we will see the cutscene now. And normally what you try to go is towards that first lantern, and then you can skip this cutscene and save 8 seconds. Unfortunately, it's you only have, I think, 3 frames to hit that kind of jump. So it's a pretty hard trick, and especially in marathons, and if you're not in your best form or whatever, any small mistake can get you out of this trick. So it's a pretty hard trick to pull off. So, and now we are making our way towards Ruxtin. Ruxtin is the boss of Catacombs, and Ruxtin is also pretty RNG heavy. So Ruxtin can either spawn at the top platform, or Ruxtin can spawn on the ground. And what we are praying for is that we get a so-called top Ruxtin, because the top kill is 8 seconds faster than the bottom kill.
Hi, Ruxtin.
So yeah, let's see and pray that we will get a top Ruxtin. Unfortunately, Ruxtin doesn't want to be at the top. So as you can see now, Ruxtin spawned below. We still try to do the boss as quickly as possible. But yeah, unfortunately, normally Ruxtin would instantly spawn on this top platform, and we can kill him on this platform or on his ship. But yeah, it's RNG, we can't influence it. Sometimes he will just be evil and is spawning on the ground, and we need to take the time loss. So as you could already see, Autumn Hills combined with Catacombs, combined with the cutscene skip, combined with RNG of Ruxtin. Especially if you want to go for top times, this is already a huge reset point, and we are only at the second stage of the one. So now that we passed through Catacombs, we are going to Bamboo Creek. We don't see any bosses here because there's, the game kind of has an argument that the stage is so beautiful that you don't need a boss at the end of the stage. So the game is really joking about itself sometimes. Unfortunately, we missed the shuriken here. So normally we try to go, to hit the switch with the shurikens to be a bit more optimized. Yeah, it was a small mistake there, but nothing too big.
Oh, jetzt this one is not good. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a deep breath and focus.
Yeah, that's it.
So this game is pretty hard. So if you get into speedrunning this game, all of this movement will get even tighter and tighter. If you go for more and more better times, and this jump is pretty dangerous because especially on 3 HP, if you don't land it, you can just die.
I didn't realize that I have 3 HP only, so.
So we had an 8-bit, we had a tournament recently of this category, and a lot of people, even top runners, died to that the tree skip because of not looking out for the HP. But yeah, so this was the famous BC 11, so BC for Bamboo Creek, and 11 because it was the 11th room. So normally the game kind of wants you to take this big elevator. It takes a shit ton of time to go via the elevator, and we have I think 5 or 6 strats now. One is harder than the other to get rid of that elevator, and that was a beautiful OG N2 skip, so called by Space. So basically, we abused a technique called one tiles, where you can hit one pixel of a frame and jump off that. And he used that technique to quickly avoid all the way through the elevator and just go straight to the end of that room. And that was Bamboo Creek. As you can already see, the speedrun is so packed with... so...
You are allowed to brave. You are allowed to brave.
When you try to explain something on the screen, is so much happening that you normally would need to explain the other stuff as well. So we are in Howling Grotto now. We just got the wingsuit, so we are able to glide now in this game. And we also bought the wingsuit slash. This is a technique that we can do vertical slashes while we are gliding with the wingsuit. And we also bought the ability that we can boost out of water. The water boost you will see here at one part of the stage, and that's it. And that is the typical cursed wall that we just saw. And
and that's the first time.
So this game is a bit janky, you could say, at some parts. And if you haven't touched a wall at all at the beginning of a stage, so if you didn't climb or cling to any wall, if you wingsuit too early or something, then you get this kind of cursed animation and you can't grab the wall. It's a bit cursed here. So
no DK skip here.
Yeah, Space was trying to go for... So this room especially we are calling the Donkey Kong room, because it's kind of... resembles the old arcade Donkey Kong games where you get thrown barrels at, and it's kind of the same with the boulders. And Space was trying to go for the so-called DK skip that is pretty tight, and normally you can take a damage boost off the saw blade, and then you can damage boost through the saw blade and get, I think, 3 seconds earlier through this room. But if you mess it up, and even the smallest amount that you take damage or didn't get a tight corner, then you can't go for DK skip. And unfortunately, we couldn't go for it. But it isn't... it would be nice to get it, but it isn't that bad if you don't get it. And as you can see, with a wingsuit slash, we can do a lot more vertical movement now. So the game introduces a lot more vertical rooms where we are dependent on gliding. And there's not really much to talk about at all anymore about Howling Grotto. And we are already at the end of the stage. And we are coming to the Emerald Golem, that is the boss of Howling Grotto. And the special thing about Emerald Golem is... So as you can see now, there's this core in the middle. So what we need to do now is we try to slash the middle of the Emerald Golem 7 times. And afterwards we go to the sides and do the last hit with the shuriken. Because after you did the 8th hit, the airstreams are coming up. And then you are allowed to slash the original core of the Emerald Golem. And with this technique, we can potentially, and I think it's looking good so far, 2-cycle the first phase of the Emerald Golem, and I think that should work. Yeah, very well done. And now what the Emerald Golem is doing in the second phase, you see the airstreams are spawning. So we have the green ballish thingy here now, and it's totally based on RNG where this green ball is going. And the perfect pattern would be that we get him as low as possible. But unfortunately, we are way up high, so we are losing a bit of time. But it was still a pretty nice Emerald Golem kill.
I missed him. The last slash was just under him, and so that's I had to go up. So we come to my favorite level, actually. I think with the best, one of the best music of the game.
Yeah, I love Crush Room. So Crush Room Marsh. The game really wants to kill you now because you get a lot. So you get enemies of these mushrooms that are throwing their heads at you. You get the mushrooms that are throwing with spikes at you. You have the quicksand or peanut butter, how we call it within the community. So the game really wants to give you something, and yeah, especially in casual and also when you start out, and even if you're an experienced speedrunner of this game, Crush Room is really a deadly stage. And despite that the stage is already deadly, we will soonish see the boss of the stage that is even worse. But first of all, we are in the longest room of the whole game. So this room kind of takes about 45 seconds. And
oh yeah.
okay, now it takes more time. But yeah, so this is the longest room in the whole speedrun with 45 seconds and 2 checkpoints.
The music is so cool.
Yeah, and a bit of lore talk here. So the lanterns, the mushroom lanterns, are singing in the synced to the music. It's pretty nice.
Right now, we can
you have all these small details in the messenger. Where Sabotage, the development studio that developed this game, put a lot of effort into these small things, and this makes the game really nice. And also, since the music is so damn good, yeah, you don't really get tired of the music at all. So shoutouts to Rainbow Dragon Eyes, the composer of the music, did a really awesome job. And yeah, especially Sabotage Studios, it's an amazing game, and they're amazingly supportive of speedrunners. So next up, we will come to the so-called bully room. We call that bully room because you will see, yeah, that's looking good. If you're not getting good through this whole V-shaped, W-shaped room, you can get bullied pretty hard, that you take 3 damage or even 4, and this is why we call it bully room, because sometimes you get a weird kick and you get bullied and will lose a lot of time. And this is maybe the most or the hardest vertical room of Crush Room, and Space nearly died there. He was really close to what the spike, so I was kind of afraid that he could die.
I trained safe strat, the rescue strat here. I missed it so.
And now we are coming to the Queen of Quilts. So the Queen of Quilts always tries to go for these hooks, and what we try to do is kick her off these hooks as early as possible. And if we don't do that, we get way more animations, as you can already see.
That's very bad. I missed it.
And yeah, and especially this animation, we try to avoid that. So it's important that you try to follow up her across her movement and kick her off the hooks immediately. We unfortunately didn't got that, but it was still a fast kill. So yeah, Queen fight is hard. And luckily, if you thought, hey, this game looks cool and this game looks fast, now we're even getting even faster, because we're coming into searing cracks now. And the game offers us the so-called rope dart, or the hook shot in other games, grappling hook, however you want to call that. And with that, the game is just,
That's your favorite level, yeah?
Yeah, there's kind of a meme in the community going on that this is one of the worst stages in the game. And I think only 1 or 2 people in the whole community like this stage. And yeah, but as you can see now, with the rope dart, we try to get as much distance as possible in all of these horizontal movement. We also try to use the rope dart, or you could also use the rope dart for climbing. So I think Space is not going for that, but if you want to go even faster, you can also use a technique called rope dart climbing. But as you can see, the game is even faster than before, and yeah, this is the part where especially the 8-bit speedrun of the game gets way more nerve-wracking, and yeah, you need to look out for so many things. You need to calculate kind of the distance to get as much max range rope darts as possible. So yeah, it's not it's cool looking, but it's also really hard to do it like that. And right now, Space is doing a really good job at that. So
Oh, it's not so bad cracks, yeah. I have made way worse cracks.
so let's see if we can get some splicing. Yeah, nice. So this is not splicing, but with a rope dart, there's a technique called teleport, and the teleport is kind of, yeah, I don't have enough time to explain how teleports work completely. But with teleporting, Ninja's kind of switching the position, and this kind of looks like Space would splice his speed one, or the game is lagging. But it's totally valid, so it's not. It's a technique within the game. And now we have Colors and Zeus, the worst boss or the worst bosses in the whole 8-bit speed one. They're completely RNG. What kind of pattern you get, and we need to defeat 2 bosses. And either these 2 guys can give you a really good time with a really fast pattern under a minute, or they can wreck your whole attempt and you need to reset. And what we try to aim for is that we get as much boulders as possible. So the optimal pattern would be a boulder, so a boulder of Colors. Colors is the red guy with the muscular upper body, and Zeus is the green guy with leg that only did leg day all the time. And I think this was an okayish.
I had the first RNG hit there where you had to jump up, but okay, I had 2 stones. It was middle.
Yeah. And we're getting closer and closer towards the end of 8-bit. So we're getting into Glacier Peak, and Glacier Peak is kind of a level of a stage where the game just combines everything that you learned. The music is really awesome in Glacier Peak, and you will see a lot of cool vertical movement combined with some horizontals here and there. Really hard stage to pull off, but also one of the... I think most people consider this as their favorite stage, because if you do it fast, it also is really cool to pull that off. And yeah, shoutouts to 2C+, one of the OG runners of this game. And there's this kind of tradition that if we go into Glacier Peak, that everyone in the chat is posting shovel please in the chat, because this is kind of... I think 2C's favorite game was Shovel Knight, and Glacier Peak was his favorite stage, and he combined both things. So this is why there's kind of the shovel please thingy going on in the messenger community.
What was that? Oh, but it's okay. It's okay.
And yeah, so like I was already mentioning, you can see Space is making up a lot of distance with a rope dart, going through these rooms pretty fast. Here we will see, we already saw him in Bamboo Creek, but I didn't mention him at all. Here we'll see another guy that is not important for 8-bit.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, as you can see, the game is going so fast in 8-bit that you, as a commentator, you can't explain everything. If you start to go into detail about some technique, then Space is already 5 screens further, and yeah, it's hard to keep up. Here we will see a teleport again. Nice, well done. We got both teleports in 8-bit. And this is the last big vertical climb, and then we are on the peak of a glacier. And to get a bit more into the story of the game now, so we brought the scroll towards the peak of Glacier, of a glacier mountain, and the 3 blue ropes are telling us now, hey, just raise your arm with the scroll, and this is your last task, the so-called Tower of Time. And we need to get through this tower and need to defeat the boss in this Tower of Time. And this is also then the end of the 8-bit one. And yeah, so the game was hard already coming with a rope dart, but Tower of Time introduces lasers that deal to us 4 damage. And Tower of Time is a pretty damage boost heavy stage, especially if you want to go for top times or better times. And yeah, there's a reason why this stage is also called Tower of Tears, or So a lot of speedruns or attempts or PB attempts will die in the stage.
So I will not do it here. I train it a bit, the skip here, but I'm not able to do it.
Yeah, so especially as you can see in this room, space is kind of wasting in quotes a lot of time, and there's a pretty heavy damage boost strat called Hail Mary, where we take damage of these projectiles, of the sorcerers, of the Wizrobe, combined with a damage boost on the lasers, and if you mess it up, you can die. And I would say, especially in a marathon environment, if you're not 100% confident in pulling off that strat, it's totally fine to skip that, because the stage is already hard enough and we do a lot of damage or a lot of scary things, I would say. As with Levy Special, the trick here is called Levy Special, where you skip one of the laser cycles. When you have this room here,
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. And as you can see, space just fell down, and it's so scary in the stage if you mess something up. Because as you can see, there are lasers everywhere, there are spikes everywhere. But luckily, since Space is not going for any of the heavy damage boost strats in the beginning, he can go for the laser boost now. So if you have 5 HP, you can skip the second part here of this room and just damage boost through the lasers, and he didn't die.
Yeah, that's true. That's nice that you precise it, because sometimes...
yeah, so even normally you should get through that pretty easily when you do laser boost, but if you mess up one of these jumps, then you can still die. And if you die there, you lose a lot of time. But if you can pull off laser boost and GG to that, you can save 4 seconds. And we kept one of the shurikens here to hit that one crystal at the bottom a bit earlier. If you don't do that, you need to go the walk of shame, how we call it. And yeah, okay. And Space wanted to go for another heavy damage boost strat here, but
I was pushed somehow backward, so I stop it directly before dying.
Yeah, because if you mess that up, you can die instantly. And even if you get that damage boost strat, you only have 1 HP coming into the next room with 3 sorcerers. And yeah, you can imagine the outcome if you mess something up. And here's Space going for a trick called the Crystal Abuse. So there's a small trick if you slash in the opposite direction while you jump off a wall. We found out that the slash is kind of still extending towards the other direction, and we abuse that to hit the crystal and kind of skip one of these. Okay, and Space is going here for the laser skip and got it. Very well done. So if you get this first try, you can save 4 seconds. And we will come up now to Arcane Golem, our first or the final boss of this category. So time will come up soonish. So time is when we get the last hit on this boss. And what we're trying now is with the rope dart, we try to stay in the face of the Arcane Golem, and with the rope dart we get iframes, and we abuse that to do as much damage as possible. And yeah, we need to kind of calculate the clap timing to always attach to him. And yeah, time is coming up soon. And time.
So
TD.
I didn't add any timer, so how much is it about? I have no idea. No idea.
Wait, I need to...
it should be 32 or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's a 32, 30-ish, something.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go 32, 32, actually.
Oh, 32, 32. Yeah, 32, 32 is acceptable, so it's Okay, so that's so. Thank you very much, Storm. Always the best to commentate this. That's a very pleasure that you are with me. And it's already the end of the messenger. So hope you liked it. And I think I will come back very soon. So thank you very much to Green Gaming. And people just give some dollars. Every dollar is one tree. So it's something important. So thank you very much and see you later. Thank you, Storm, again. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you both to Space and Storm for that amazing run. Stick around. We're going to have a brief intermission.